What's going on, guys? I am Aggressively American, and I am here to expose all the ways you're being manipulated one video at a time. Today, we're diving back into Doge. I know we've been doing some videos on this lately, but Doge is a hot topic lately, specifically the almighty, powerful, and dreadful email that Elon Musk, the tyrannical email that Musk sent to all the federal workers. This email has been getting a lot of attention, and you know what I thought was kind of interesting was it was kind of hard to find what the email actually was. And once I found it, I was pretty shocked at how not threatening it was. So we're going to dive into that today. I want to go through the email, share a couple thoughts about it, and then I want to play a clip that sheds even further light and perhaps opens up some conversation. So let's dive right in. First things first, let's take a look at the actual email. So this is it. This is the email. This is literally what was sent to the federal workers, and it reads as follows. What did you do last week? Please reply to this email with approximately 5 bullets of what you accomplished last week and CC your manager. Please do not send any classified information, links, or attachments. Deadline is this Monday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's it. That's the email. This is the email that everyone has been flipping out about. This is the email that people are saying is tyrannical, and people are saying is a step across the line, and people are saying they feel like that if they don't have good answers to this, their job could be on the line, which ended up not being the case, it turns out, which we'll kind of dive into later. But let's dive into that. Imagine reading this email and saying, oh my God, I'm concerned I don't have good answers to this. I'll be honest with you. I just got my workday started. I took a quick break here. I work a job. Took a break, and I did more than 5 things in the first 20 minutes of my day that I could list in an email like this. That is the truth. I think anyone in the private sector could list the five things that they did in an entire week. And honestly, that's a 5-day week. That is 1 thing per day. If you're stressing out that you're unable to list 5 things that you did when you work 5 days a week, there's a good chance you probably should be concerned about job security, because anywhere in the private sector, we know that if you go 5 work days and you can't list 5 things that you did, you're probably going to lose your job, to be perfectly honest with you. But we all know how the federal government is. We've all been in line at the DMV and seen how just pathetically entitled some of these people are, how they act as if there's no accountability, that they cannot lose their jobs. So it doesn't surprise me that when someone gets an email like this, it's completely foreign and out of left field to them when they work in the federal government, because they've pretty much been able to do whatever the heck they want to do with little or no consequence, as it's been proven. And keep in mind, guys, this isn't like you have to think outside the box and list things that oh, well, I went above and beyond 5 different times. I started projects. I, solved this. I did that. You don't have to be an exceeds expectations or superstar performer. You could literally list your job description. If you're a carpenter and your boss says, what were 5 things you did this week? You could literally say, I was the one that was doing the Home Depot runs for the entire crew. I did the framing of XYZ. I supported Todd while he built, so-and-so. Literally, you could just list, your normal responsibilities, and that would serve as 5 things that you did. But these people are panicking because they can't even come up with those 5 things. So on that note, I wanted to also show this video.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. Musk. Are there about half of the government employees so far appear to have responded to your request for what they've been doing over the past week? Is there a timeline in place for next moves for people being fired, and when can the American people expect to see results of that?
Yes. Well, to be clear, I think that email perhaps was misinterpreted as a performance review, but actually it was a pulse check review.
Now, think of those words. It was absolutely misinterpreted as a performance review. And by getting misinterpreted as a performance review, it exposed and shed light on so much of what's happening. I'm so glad it got misinterpreted as a performance review, because it literally showed us the level of panic literally half of the government workforce felt when they were asked to list one thing per day that they did in these overinflated salaries that they were getting.
Do you have a pulse?
Do you have a pulse?
Do you have a pulse and 2 neurons?
Holy.
If you have a pulse and 2 neurons, you can reply to an email. This is, I think not a high bar.
Hold on. He's literally saying the point of the email was just to see if you have a pulse. That might sound like an insult. It might be like, hey, look, I am just, I just want this, or all you have to do is reply and you've complied. That's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying. Listen further.
This is, should be, anyone could accomplish this. But what we are trying to get to the bottom of is we think there are a number of people on the government payroll who are dead, which is probably why they can't respond.
Holy F.
And some people who are not real people, like they're literally fictional individuals that are collecting paychecks. Well, somebody's collecting paychecks on a fictional individual. So we're just literally trying to figure out, are these people real? Are they alive? And can they write an email?
Bro. So hold on. If that is true, if they discover that there is any type of percentage, even just some people that don't actually exist that are drawing government paychecks, that's a problem. But can you imagine if they discover that there is some sort of percentage of people who are getting paid drawing government paychecks that either don't exist or are dead? Can you imagine that? I feel like it would kind of go in under the radar with all the stuff they're finding, but that is crazy. The fact that they had those emails sent means they suspect that that is happening. That should concern every single one of us. On the topic of how are our tax dollars being spent, news like this should concern every single American, left or right.
Is a reasonable expectation for the American public would have at least that expectation of someone in the public sector.
Mr. Musk,
Amen.
Roughly 1 million employees.
It's not a high bar, guys. Come on.
Roughly a
It's
million
not a high
employees
bar.
have
Just
responded
respond.
so far to this email. Does that mean that the remaining one?
People are freaking out like, what if I don't have a good response? What if I don't have a good response? He's literally saying, just respond. That's all you need to do is just respond so we know you're real. And they're still freaking out.
Million or so federal employees now risk being terminated. And
Look at
is
that
it your
cabinet,
understanding
bro.
and expectation when you post a directive on X that the cabinet secretaries will follow that order? Because several agencies have instructed employees that this is voluntary or not to respond.
Yeah, well, I mean, so I guess it was like last week, the president encouraged me via Truth Social and also via phone call to be more aggressive. And I was like, okay, yes, sir, Mr. President, we will indeed do that. The president is the commander-in-chief. I do what the president asks.
Whoa, I thought Elon Musk was the president. Why is he letting this Trump guy boss him around? Right? Not. Just kidding. You know I am.
And I said, can we send out an email to everyone just saying, what did you get done last week? And the president said yes, so it did that. We got a partial response. We're going to send another email. But our goal is not to be capricious or unfair. We want to give people every opportunity to send an email. And the email could simply be, what I'm working on is too sensitive or classified to describe.
There it is.
Like literally just, that would be sufficient. I think this is...
Literally. He's literally just saying, guys, just reply with something and we're good. And the fact that this is getting so much pushback, the fact that people are willing to fight against it this hard when he's saying, we just want to make sure that if you're getting a government paycheck, you actually exist or still exist, as in you did not pass away. Just respond to the email. So let's take note. Now that this news has gotten out, let's take note. Let's see how many more people respond. And if they don't, whatever you do, do not feel bad for anyone that doesn't respond to this email and suffers the consequences. you.